All right, welcome to this second live video about the single Land. I do that to people that gonna come by and they can be interested and listen to me talk about the music for a few minutes, and also it makes me a video that I can after that cut and clip and post as I say different things that I find interesting when I watch it afterwards. So, yeah, today I want to talk about different things. Let's make sure this is working. Yes, this should work. Yeah, all right. Excellent. I want to talk about different things. First, why I'm making an EP, why I'm deciding to release some music and post so much and promote the music that much. There's something like a reason why I'm doing it. The real reason is just because I like it. I want to make music. This is the first thing I was doing. The thing I'm doing since I'm young. I started playing piano, singing. This kept with me, and then I rap. I make beats for a while. I rap, produced, sampled from the turntable and records. Did that for a few years, and then I started to mix and master and professionalize that aspect. And now I think it's the time for me to release some songs that I have in stock, and that's why I'm doing that. I want to do it to do the whole process myself, and I'm really doing everything from A to Z, from like choosing the sample, creating the chord progression, writing the lyrics, obviously like mixing, mastering, everything. I do it myself, all the promotion, all the video editing, except from drums that a friend recorded for me. He came here and played some drums track for a song. It's the only song, the only rhythm that I haven't built in Jamaica. It's a song that I built here, and that is a cover, but I'm leaving this as a surprise for when the EP is gonna come out. There is a very nice cover, and I'm excited to build that song. So that's why I'm doing an EP, having fun making music, of course, and I'm doing an EP. I'm releasing. I'm doing an EP. I'm releasing music, and this is actually the launch of Mass Mix Records. I've wanted to have a way to release music, not only my music, but music of other people. I've been asked a lot by artists if I can help them with promotion, with releasing, and I have to do it myself first to really be able to understand it and offer it. And it will be a nice way to work in collaboration and partnership, since I say since the beginning I want to collaborate, I want to build partnership. And the way to do that, I think, is to have a way to release music together. And I feel like I have the mind and definitely the desire to understand all of this environment and ecosystem of releasing music, registration, promotion, business, blah blah blah, and all of this. So I have the mind to do it, the will to do it. I'm doing it. And there are artists that are way more willing to put time into creation, writing, etc. And I want to make music with people, so I want to create a vessel, or like, I don't know, a, a home, or a place where we can all be, where the music can all stay and be distributed to people. And so this is Mass Mix Records, and I've actually got my business number today. So it's a business, meaning that it's acting as a label and as a publisher. That's what it's doing for now. Obviously, Mazmix is also the production and the mix and master, but that was already there. And I needed a business number specifically to get the rights on the mastering. Anyways, I will talk about that later. But yeah, doing the EP enables me to create a system of release. So I know that once I have a creation, I have a master, I have a file, what do I have to do to make it a success? Or at least to make it moving a way or another, right? Promotion, registration, proper mix and master, artwork, and be creative around it and have ideas around the box to make this work out and to make this interesting and to have a personality. Because promotion, it's not just promotion. Yes, it's putting your face there, but you have a message, you have a personality, you have like a way you do things that is different. And I think the more different you are, the better it is in a way. And this explains parts of what I'm doing with the cover, with the sound, with the promotion, with the live like this, which is kind of different. So yes, let's dive into this. These are the reason why I'm making an EP, and I feel the need to justify why I'm making an EP because I've been promoting myself on the internet as a mix and master engineer, which I am more professionally. So I think I'm more professional in my audio engineering than in my musicianship in a way, but still it comes together. And at the end of the day, I think we're all making music, and doing this is just making me make greater music overall. So yeah, it's just better and better and great. So that's why I'm making an EP. Anyways, I shouldn't justify why I want to release music as an audio engineer. I think it's quite common. I've been looking around and they've all been, think about Lee Scratch Perry. He's been the engineer but also releasing a lot of music with bands on its own in different ways, so it's just be creative. And I feel this is not just creating a system but opening a valve, like a valve. Like I feel like it's not just creating it. I feel it's not just creating a system but also opening a valve, like the creative flow. I feel it's not just creating a system but like opening a valve, the creating flow, putting music out there, promoting it, looking at it, music video, like let's go, let's do that, and let's just do more and more and more. And as the years are gonna pass by, it's just gonna be easier and easier and more success each time I release music, whether from me or with other artists. So that's really the goal right there. So other thing I want to talk about is let's talk about the cover, because I did the cover this week. I drew it live with how do you call it, quill or quill, so the Chinese ink, with different colors. It's very simple, I believe, but it's really raw, it's organic, it's imperfect. That's the way I want this to be. The whole thing is I have a hard time expressing this idea, and a good way to express this vision is to compare it to the AI, the digital movement that is happening now and since several years. And not that I want to necessarily like rebel against that. This is not me. I really like to do things as a moment that we experience, just like the cover, the making of the cover is a moment. It's just not just something I made in my head with the computer on Canva or whatever. The music video that we filmed yesterday, it was a moment with my brother in the car. We had fun. It's all homemade. I want to do it. And if I would hire a team to do it, it still would be a great moment. But I want to experience things. I want to really live it as I progress in releasing this EP and in this music endeavor in general. So this is why I say I want this to be organic, to be authentic, to be real, to be, yeah, man, to be something that we do, that we experience, that we feel inside ourselves, inside our heart, as I do music and as we make music together. So, yeah, man, that's really something I want to display or illustrate through the making of a cover like that, handmade, live, very simple with a white background. Looks like a kid drawing, but still I kind of researched it, I practiced, I thought about it for a few hours, and when I was ready, it took me 3 hours to do it from A to Z, and I didn't really change anything. Actually changed absolutely nothing. It's right there. And so yeah, it's a paper, that's what it is. I scanned it. It turned out really great in the computer. I added on the thumbnail of this and on the real cover art, I just added a border, a dark blue border, and that's it. Very simple cover. Loving it. Let's put it like this. Is it gonna show? Oh, that's so cool. Oh no. Here? Okay. So yeah, the cover is a moment in time. I say that. Yeah, I actually like the final result of the cover art more than I thought. I thought it would look weird. It kind of does look special and peculiar, but in a better way than what I thought before starting it. So I'm glad that the cover art is turning that great. And I love the idea is a real piece of art. That's actually cool. Like when I say a real, I mean it's not to dismiss any art, but maybe my heart is old school, but I like that. The drawing on a paper, it's right there, it's living. It could be in an auction or something. It's not an NFT or something online. It's a real living matter art piece of work. And this is something that makes more sense to me. So don't ask me why, and I don't need to justify in any way, but that's what it is. Yeah, I said that. Move away from the digital world. Yeah, and this idea of the Chinese ink and calligraphy is something I've been doing for a few years. I think I've been having this kit for I guess at least like a decade, but to be honest, maybe I do it once or twice a year. So it's not something that I practice a lot, but it's something that I can do. There's an angle, a specific angle, and it's more. It requires more skills than we think to use the Chinese ink and the quill. But I'm still good. You can see in the sky I struggled sometimes with the ink and the type of tip I had. but the result is still fire. It's not made to draw really. I think it's more made to write letters and calligraphy, and so yeah. But the result is fire, and since I know how to do it, I said might as well use the skills I already have. The Sharpies help me to make it like it gives another kind of texture. It's full, like just big traits, working well together with the ink. In the ink, there are subtleties that I think is. When I say subtleties, I mean you see there's dark green, lighter green, same with the blue in the sky. And this is because of the ink, and I think that it makes the whole organicness or the realness, the grit, the I don't know, the I love it. I just love this thing, and it kind of contrasts with the traits made with the Sharpie from the tree, the cloud made with the Sharpie, and so yeah, man, it's kind of different. I like it. And my brother asked me why it's written Ja number 6 at the bottom. It's because this song, Land, is the 6th rhythm I built in Jamaica. I built 8 rhythm, and this is the 6th one. And in all my folders, it's always been Ja number 6. So it's kind of, I cannot put it away fully. It's part of the name of the song. So Land or Ja number 6. And that's pretty much it for the cover. I love the cover, and the EP is gonna follow the same aesthetic, I think. Mountains, I have a same idea or a similar idea where there'll be mountains with the calligraphy, whatever. Where there'll be mountain and the calligraphy. What else? That's it. I have another idea for the cover of the EP itself with the name and everything, but that is to come later. You can actually see a hint or like a preview if you scroll down a little bit on my Instagram page. Let's dive into the mix then. I want to talk about... Okay, let's dive into the mix. I'll just switch this. Yes. And then... this is behind this there. Okay, that should work great. Let's see if you can hear it. I think this is gonna be way too loud. Okay. It's normal. This is the master at its okay. Alright, so what I want to say about the mix, about this song, Land. First of all, sometimes I do that and then I don't really know why, but I divide the bass into a lower bass and a higher bass. It works great. And here, I don't know if it was working really great, but I kept it. I drove the higher bass down. So you see here, it's minus 31. and the very low bass is minus 15. When I say very low, the numbers are not important. You could just see that there's a big difference between minus 15 and minus 30, meaning that there's quite a difference between both of them. But they're kind of acting in the same frequencies. And then I have a muted guitar which and then I have a muted guitar which acts kind of as a plucking guitar. And so yes, those two also kind of work together well, so I kept them like that. So let's hear only the bass. So that's the very deep bass. That's the higher bass. We don't hear it loud, huh? Both. Alright, so the bass. I love this bass, and I haven't changed everything into audio files. Maybe I should have, but it just went so well to mix that song. There's not much, just compression and a little bit of EQing and saturation. So I don't know, it just I never really had to switch it into audio files. But yeah, and why I'm saying the bass like this is because every time it's a decision if you put the bass first or the kick first. And here I still wanted the kick to have a big presence, and the kick and the bass are often together, which is sometimes problematic because it peaks, it distorts when you're later in the process. But let's see how it does when we solo them. There is a big the kick is present, that's what I mean. Ah, that's so good. It works great, eh? This kick this kick has a snap that I absolutely love. At the beginning, I've never loved to use kick with those kind of snap, but that's around 1, 2, 3, like 3-4 kilohertz. That. Anyways, so very nice. They work well together. They make the song groovy, bouncy. I love this. The kick pattern is different. I wanted to try something new. I've said that before, but I'm not a drummer. I'm not super comfortable drumming. And yes, so this was a challenge for me. And as I listened to all the rhythms I had, this one stood out because of the kick pattern that was different and yeah, groovy, boomy, man. Let's get it. What else? Yeah, so all of this that you see here are samples, right? So the bass is sample, the muted guitars are sample, all the drums, the piano skanks, the guitar skanks, the organ, even the keys here, they are samples. No? Actually, all of this rhythms. Actually, all this rhythm, the whole rhythm is samples. So I did not understood that before. So yeah, so the whole rhythm is made with samples and it sounds very nice. You still hear it in the bass. It starts more abruptly, let's say. Yeah, but that's that. I did that in Jamaica and I brought those rhythm back and I love this one. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh yeah. So the snare is a simple one drop. Let's put it like that. It's a snare. It's not a side stick. It's a real like Frank snare. And just as the kick, the hi-hats is a pattern that I wanted to try, which is a triad, I believe, or no, actually, I don't know if it's a triad, but it's three together. Yeah, so the snare pattern is really simple. As I said, it's a one drop, a Frank snare, and the hi-hat pattern, it's different. It's always three together, three, three, and it's not a pattern that I'm used to do. Usually I go with the 8th pattern or 16th pattern, but this one is different and it really gives a groove to that track. Mm. Also, because there are no crash, there's no roll in this song, there's not a lot of transitions, and it creates a sense of continuity in the song, of space. I really like it. At the end, I wanted to add something, and I withdraw. I did not do it because I love the way it just continues and flows, and sometimes the keys come in just like there. Okay, you've got to tell me, hands on the wheel. And that's pretty much the variation there is. Um, yeah, that's it. A variation in the bass and the bass pattern, but other than that, this rhythm is pretty straightforward. I love it. It's smooth. You see, this is kind of a laid back reggae, late night laid back reggae. I feel like. Um, what else I want to say about the track and the mixing itself? If the vocals are natural, they are not tuned. They are right as they were recorded. The back vocals are higher and they just help, they blend together. That's pretty much what I have to say about vocals. They're on the sides also, a bit of verb and stuff like that to create depth in the vocal, but that's pretty much it. You can see here, this is the lead. I actually took out a second lead. I thought one is enough. And then the two back vocals that are higher, there are two different takes, of course. One half on the left and half on the right. When I say half, this is like not fully, because those back, they are really part of the vocals and part of the song, so I don't want them to be hidden when we listen to it in mono, because if I put those back vocals too wide, they're not gonna be present when you put the song in mono. And let me tell you that we listen to a lot of music in mono in our small speakers, or even in the sound system culture. A lot of sound systems are mono. So if you want your sound to, not your sound, but your song to sound good in a sound system, make sure that the elements that you want to be present are not too wide. Uh, if I'd have, I don't know, a melodica that's playing something in the background and I want it really on the side in one ear when I have it on headphones, that I don't really care if it's audible in mono, let's put it fully right or fully left. There's no problem there. But something that is important to the song should be, not too wide. I think I said enough about that. What else about the mix? Oh yeah, another thing, not just center and mono, is because this reggae thing is so much bass driven that you want the melody of the bass to be audible in speakers that you cannot hear the low frequencies. So that's why often I will add plucks. Well, not just me, but I would add plucks or muted guitars, or like just a way to have the same melodies as the bass but in higher frequencies, so it's hearable and we hear the groove of the bass even on cheaper speaker. And this is what I'm doing here. There are actually two muted guitars. Let's take a listen to only those. This one is really high. Let's listen only to this one. It's cool with the effects. This one's a little lower. See here, so 200, and here it's more around 800, 1K, 400 even here, but I EQ'd it. So yeah, this just helps the bass to be there, because this low thing is real low. It's 50, 60, 70, 80 in those areas, right? And so yeah, a great way to give a groove to a bass on other speakers. All right, I think I said enough about the mix. Oh, I could talk about the effects. So first thing I do, did I change something? Yes, okay. First thing I do when I put effects even in the demo, is adding a spring verb, because the snare has such a different character with the spring verb. I just add it right away. This is a free plugin. I'd like to have something that sounds a little better, but since I cannot define my better here, I'll wait a little bit. But yeah, the reverb, I know I could do it also with my RE201, but this one is really nice to set up. I put it wet. I like to play with the thing there. It's just kind of easy to set up. I have a reverb type. I can listen to different ones. And since this one had like a really splash, it was kind of powerful. It was different. Usually it's quite dark, but I put this one brighter. Anyway, so the verb, I have another verb only for the vocals, and see here that everything is EQ. it's very important to EQ effects. This changes everything. EQing the effects is bringing a mix 3 steps further, for real. Like, yeah, I don't know how to explain that, but it's not fully bright, it doesn't muddy in the low. You can cut some frequencies that you don't want to be repeated in the verb or in the delays, and it does help a lot to EQ the effects. All of these, they're all EQ'd. Yeah, you see here, I wanted a little bit more presence of this. This is a delay, my RE201, with a little bit of fresh air, and these are the back vocals. So this is the delay and verb for the backing vocals. I want them to be shiny and bright, but to take this place around 1K, because I felt that there was a hole in there. I could see it, I could hear it, but at the same time I didn't want to raise the lead vocals in this region because it would bring a really like nasal sound for the vocals. So I did it for the back vocals. It went great. It brings a presence, it's bright. Anyways, this is a great effect there for the backing vocals that are higher octave. And also these 3 is not a secret, but a little trick I do on every track is 3 different reverbs. They are the same. So here I think it's a cathedral. Yeah, cathedral. So I try one reverb with everything in it, and when I find something that I like, depending if the song is busy or if the song is very spacious, I will choose a different reverb and then just change a few settings in there to make it feel more in the front, in the middle, or in the back. And then each track, each element will be sent to the front, the middle, or the back. And then those reverb will be brought up slightly, just we can hear it just a little bit. Obviously you can push them more if you want or if I want, but I want that to be more of an ambient reverb, just like the normal reverb of a room where you would play, right? If you play in the garage with your band, there will be a reverb. If you practice in a church with a band, there will be a natural reverb. So this is not really a creative reverb, but more like a functional reverb. But still, it's applied at the end of the mix when the mix bus is finished to being processed. Then I add those reverb. I call this the matrix because they're kind of a reverb matrix. So this helps a lot to create this first sense of depth within a song. Yeah, man, loving those knowledge about reverb, loving this track. I could have pushed the repeating of vocals a little more, but I wanted to keep this a little sober, simple. There are in 2 or 3 instances where it repeats, but not too much. Why not take a listen to those back vocals with the effects on it? I think only the backs will be fun to listen to. Let's go in the beginning of a verse here. The wicked lives in all of us. It's just a matter of letting your bright light in. And don't get me wrong, it takes work and courage now. So you see, it repeats, there's a delay, it's subtle, loving this. And that's it for the mix. Let's change gear, let's switch gears and talk about registrations and distribution. So a few weeks ago, I collaborated with ZIN Creation Walker Production, and I have royalties for the mix I did for him. So he sent me a link for DistroKid. So now I subscribe to DistroKid, and this is what I use for the EP and for Mazmix Records. For now, DistroKid is good enough. This is gonna go on the streaming platforms, all of these other areas, socials, everything like that. But for me, this is not the main thing or the most important part of releasing a song. The streaming is only one part of it. Okay? Because let me tell you something. And I think you've already know what I want to tell you, because streaming is not it's just a window on the music of an artist, or a window on the world of an artist. Okay, let me push this further. Why not? Give me a second. Not only that streaming is just a window on the music, I think that the music itself is a window on the world of the artist. Meaning that nowadays we listen to a song and then we go on the website and we buy a shirt, or we buy a record, or we go see a show of that artist, because we listen to his or her music on the streaming platform, or we watch the music video on YouTube. And this is why we made a decision to interact and enter the world of this artist. I think this is really how it's playing or coming into play right now, and we cannot think that the music itself is the product to sell, right? The music itself is now free, available everywhere, and can be made clacking your finger and can be made clapping your fingers with AI, right? So yes, there's something with the music, but it has to be just like the surface of something bigger that is underneath, which is your whole world, your whole personality. And this is why social media is here also, in parts. And this is why I think we just have to be creative and to think of different ways to make music, and to generate with music. I'll say it like that. It's not only making money, it's generating, gathering people, having a lot of ears on your sound, on your message, on your face, on the organization that you are part of or that you associate with, So all of this is kind of more important than the music itself. I know it's hard to hear. It's been hard to swallow. I've been looking at how it's working, how people are grinding in this, and this has been my conclusion for now. So if you have a better conclusion, call me, hit me up, send me a DM, and let's have this conversation. I think this is really interesting. Okay, so this just started with distribution. So DistroKid is perfect, plenty enough for now. The artwork, the cover art went there. It's working great. I just made sure to resize it, and it's all good. I'll put the lyrics in. And since it's the first song, I have to link it with the Spotify account, Apple Music account, Tidal, all of those. I have to create accounts and link them. so things I have to do. It's not really complicated for me, DistroKid. I just read slowly. I take time. I verify 2 or 3 times before confirming, and it goes well. Now for the registration, this is a puzzle. For real, there are many organizations doing different things. Sometimes they overlap, and it took me a while to understand which is doing what. And I'm in Canada, but it's similar everywhere in the world. So I'm not gonna dive deep into music rights here, but let's say that now the registrations are almost finished. There's one for the rights of creators, so it's only me. Everything is me, right? But that's the thing, is that since everything is me, it's not easy to understand where I have to register to get an account to get this type of rights, okay? Because DistroKid is taking the rights of the recordings, the master, okay? So there are the recordings, master rights, and the creator or the creation rights, okay? These are two separate areas. And in each of those, you have the artist's rights and the organization that takes care of it. That's weird to say, but for the creation side, you have the artist, the creator, and the publisher. For the recordings and the master, you have the artist and the label. Okay, so that's broadly how it works. But people will explain that in so many different ways that you have to wrap your head around a way you understand it, and just go there, register to those different organizations. I registered to 3. Usually it can go up to 5, because I know that one of them is blending 2 different roles. So, and then you need an app or something to manage the metadata also, which is just the names of everything related to the song or the project. So doing this it's not stressful, it's just freaking annoying, and at a point you don't understand anything. I spent like 2 nights making so many research on the internet. Do I need to subscribe to this and that? No, they're 2 different. Okay, oh yes, they are 2. Oh, and then I was reading so many different versions of how I have to register my song. So I started, and I'm also reaching out to those organizations so they can help me. It's not that complicated, but if you want to back up really and be fully registered, you have to take the time to understand that well. More than registration, we'll be pitching the EP and the singles to DJs, radio stations, sound systems. So I prepared a text. I will have a folder with the master, an instrumental version, maybe the stems if they want to dub it. So I will prepare that so I can send that to as many people as I want. So this is the way I am registering, promoting, putting my song out there. Other than just promotion on social media with clips and stuff like that, is the real registration. And when it's well registered with the good organization, the good metadata, the song has more chance to be picked up by radios, by DJs, by, could be a video game, could be a TV show, something like that. If it's well done, there are way more chances of this to happen. So this is why I want to be fully prepared and do it properly. And again, this is another purpose of this EP, is to get good at doing the registration, the distribution, the promotion, everything around putting songs out there the good way. Which leads me to, I think this is my last point. Finally, how long has this been? 50. Perfect. Yeah, that's it. When my voice goes like that, I like to have fun with myself a little bit. And it means I need to drink. My last point is the system. I've been touching upon this for a little while, but the system I'm creating by releasing music. Releasing this EP is making me create a system, okay? I am in the studio, I record the song, I have a content I can create on the piano while singing, sitting here and talking, another point of view on the couch here. So I have a system of ways I can create content to promote songs, talk about it, making of, performance. So just here in my quite small studio, I have a system to create content and promote. This is for my songs, but why not if I invite an artist here, we can create a lot of content in the same day or 2 days he's here, and we do that, and then this is part of like the, I don't know, the package of the production and releasing of that song. So this is the first part of the system, is to be able to create content and this easiness of creating content. At the beginning, it's really tough. It's labor. Like you record, it's long. You transfer it. You put it in your editing app or software. You put it in your editing software. It takes forever to edit. You second guess yourself. You like add different subtitles, whatever. And for real now, like in 15 minutes, I can create a video, easy, bing bang piff poof, and it's scheduled or released. And this is really nice to do. And another thing I'm doing is that I'm stacking some content. So if I play on the piano, I'm in the mood of playing in the piano, I set up everything, I record myself playing, and cool, I have this for in 5 weeks I want to release this. So yeah, that's a nice way to kind of have material at the root of this system. Creating the artwork. So I created the artwork myself by hand on paper, and this is part of the process. I can do it on the computer. I have all the skills with Canva, with other tools I'm using. So creating the artwork is something I was able to do, but I'm bringing this a step further with doing it by hand, making this a piece of art that I might sell in the future. Why not? But still, the artwork, the cover art is part of the system of the process that I'm putting on. Uploading to distributor, knowing how to do that, register the work, and then monitor and gather the data of the single or the EP or any project. So this is the system I'm creating with the release of the song and EP. And as much as I'm having fun doing it for me right now, I surely will have fun, and it will be a blessing to do that in collaboration with others in the future. So yeah, that's about it. That's what I wanted to talk about with Land single coming out April 21st. Very proud of it. We just filmed the music video yesterday with my brother on the highway, because in the song it's talking about driving on the highway. So I don't want to say more, but I'm preparing the music video, doing everything about this release. This is for me kind of a crazy adventure. It's a lot of time. The budget is low, but the energy is super duper high. So that's pretty much it for this live. I've talked about plenty of things. First, why I'm doing an EP. I'm talked about the cover, how I did it, and why I did it this way. I talked about the mix. We went into the mix, and we talked about it. I showed different stuff. I should have changed the camera earlier on for YouTube, but anyways. And we talked about registrations, about distribution, about how's that going, the system I'm creating, the fun I'm having. So yeah, talk to you later. Ciao ciao.